Welcome to Netlinked Weekly. You guys had some complaints about us shooting at 24 frames per second for a more cinematic feel last week. So we've taken all those complaints, crumpled them up, and thrown them into a fire. We are shooting at 24 frames per second once again for a cinematic look to our exciting What's Hot, Awesome Deals, and Tips and News for Netlinked Weekly. It is the Time to Upgrade sale event. You can see this is a bit of a different style for a sale banner. Instead of being purely cartoon, their LAN gaming box, the LP1, remember the Vesta name is gone now, is on a table with some mad scientist and robot stuff going on in there, and they've thrown in, the art team is who I'm referring to, they've thrown in a real-life power supply, so that's a Corsair power supply, and then the robot's holding at what looks like a GTX 650 Ti boost. So it's a very cool kind of look to it with the mixture of cartoon style and real world. So what would you be upgrading exactly? Well, number one, NCIX has upgraded the selection of headphones. Beyerdynamic is now available. We kind of picked one that we liked, so this is the Custom One Pro. It's a closed headset, but the point of this slide is more you can get Beyerdynamic's products at NCIX now, which is extremely exciting. Very high quality, audio grade products. So these are not gaming headsets in the sort of sense that they're made by companies who aren't that experienced with audio. Highly recommended. There you go. Next up, we've got Kingston's HyperX Blue Red modules. RAM prices are going up. They're going up at an incredibly fast rate, so if you want to get your hands on a reasonably inexpensive set of memory, this is sort of your chance because they are still trending up. And don't mind the name. The modules are red like in the pictures. They're not actually blue. Blue is just the line of memory from Kingston. Next up, this is a very interesting thing. So it's an Acer notebook. It's $399. It's got a Core i3, 4 gigs of RAM, 500 gig drive. Okay, so it's an inexpensive 14-inch notebook. But check this out. Linpus. Hold on a minute. Is Linux going mainstream? Is there a Linux notebook available at NCIX that you can just buy and run? Very cool. Very interesting. The implications of this are just very cool. All right, next up, we've got the Sapphire Radeon 7790. So this is mostly here because, yes, it's available. You can buy it now. This is AMD's refresh to the 7000 series that improves performance over the 7770. And while this one might not be the least expensive one, there's actually one that's about $25 cheaper after a mail-in rebate. This one has a dual fan cooler, and it's an overclocked card from Sapphire. If you're looking for the less expensive one that's also on sale, it's an MSI. So it's just clocked a little lower, and they both have 1 gig of memory. Also, the MSI one has a single cooling fan. We're going to finish up with a bundle, and the bundle's a good deal. So it's a P8Z77V LE Plus motherboard from Asus with a 3570K, great gaming combo. But also, just wanted to draw your attention to this promo. There is a free Intel Etch-a-Sketch that comes with your purchase. So there you go. If you wanted the most advanced computer and the least advanced computer-like looking device, then you could go ahead and buy this bundle. Our tip for the week is how to leave a review on a product. So all you have to do is click the Add Review button at the bottom of the product page, fill out the information. It is highly recommended to review products that you actually own because that way you're providing very useful information to the other readers. Remember that very low star rated reviews can be reviewed by NCIX staff to make sure that it's not just a rant or a complaint about a DOA without giving the manufacturer a chance to rectify the situation for you. So flames are not encouraged, but constructive negative reviews are definitely something that could be useful to other shoppers. So do feel free to leave those as well. Our news for the week. This is very cool. Opera and Chrome are combining forces. These seem like unlikely allies. They're ditching WebKit, leaving the only major browser still using WebKit as Apple's Safari. So that's kind of the back-end renderer for their browsers. They are joining forces with a new sort of incumbent called Blink. And the biggest advantage that Blink has over the more traditional approach is multi-core support. So yes, guys, we could be looking at a true multi-threaded browsing experience very, very soon, which is exciting to those people back in 2004 who bought dual-core processors. Actually, no, it is. I mean, it's exciting to anyone buying a multi-core processor now as well, because the web is changing. I mean, there's tools like, creating your own mashups of videos strictly through a web browser. They're out there, so we do need to be able to throw more processing power at them, and this is a huge step in the right direction. Speaking of more processing power, the Roadrunner supercomputer has been decommissioned after only 5 years. So in the last 5 years, this used to be the most powerful supercomputer in the world when it was built. It actually held the title for a while, but after only 5 years, they're tearing it apart. And not because it's not powerful. It's still right up there in terms of power, but that's the issue. The power draw is too high. In the last 5 years, we've seen Intel just turn everything on its head in terms of performance per watt, which is huge when you're running thousands upon thousands of CPUs. Plus, we've seen NVIDIA with the Titan supercomputer come out and go, well, no, hold on, why don't you use GPUs for this? Because that's going to be more efficient than CPUs and from a performance per watt perspective as well. So that's the part that's fascinating about this. So yeah, okay, maybe the general consumer doesn't care that much if their computer consumes 10 fewer watts at idle and 20 fewer watts under load. But this is why these companies are driving for better performance per watt, because when it comes to the major computing that we do on a much larger scale, every 10 watts counts when you're deploying thousands upon thousands of CPUs. And the world is changing so fast now, even though we've sort of felt a little bit like, performance is not improving as much in the last few years. That's because there are other bigger things at play than just how fast the single-threaded performance of your desktop CPU is. So thank you for checking out this week's episode of Netlinked Weekly. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this from your favorite e-tailer, ncix.com.